Can I have your attention for a minute? We're going to start the meeting in about 60 seconds, so if you could mute or turn off your cell phone, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right, good evening and welcome to the Township of Clark Council meeting. It is Monday, June 16th, 7:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Huff.
Here.
Councilmember Hund.
Here.
Councilmember Mazzarella.
Here.
Councilmember Minetti is absent. Councilmember O'Connor.
Here.
Councilmember Toll.
Here.
Council President Smith.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, as adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by mailing the annual schedule of meetings to the Star Ledger, Union County Hawk, Union County Local Source, and Tappan to Clark, by posting such meeting schedule on the bulletin board in Town Hall reserved for such announcements, the official website of the township, and the proper filing of said notice. Formal action may be taken at this meeting.
Great, thank you. We were going to do a motion to suspend a regular order of business, but we're going to move the troop and Boy Scout troop and Cub Scout troop 145 to the July meeting because there was a miscommunication in the date. And then also, is Matthias Gabriel Lopez here? All right, so we'll probably do that presentation if he shows up then near the end. So we're not going to suspend the regular order of business. So we'll move to communications from the mayor and reports of township officers. Mayor Albanese.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to get some business out of the way here. I've been advised by our department head, local emergency management council, Mike Nenordis, that we need to appoint myself and also our police director, Patrick Grady, to the local emergency management council, which used to be called the committee. That's that. Okay. I'd like to shout out a big congratulations to the great job the Board of Education has done, our superintendent, the principals, all the administrators, and our teachers and students for ranking 5th in the county in the reporting of rankings of the high schools in the state of New Jersey. And we were ahead of Cranford and Scotch Plains, so we're very proud of that. And, you know, it's one of those things that can go up and down each year, but we celebrate that and congratulate them. On the agenda tonight, we have the audit. Council's required to review, in particular, any general comments and recommendations that are made by the auditors. And we have the report here, and I'm pleased to say that we have no comments, no internal control comments. So I want to give a big shout out and thank you to our CFO, Christy Vieira. And it's not something that she does alone. It's really she relies on all the different departments, the clerk, all the departments that spend money, have vouchers, time to report, et cetera. So it's really a team effort, and I also want to thank Jim Ulrich, our BA, for a tremendous job in getting this done so timely. And that concludes my comments at this time.
Thank you. Council Member Hoff.
About that. I apologize. I am losing the library report. Okay. So first of all, as far as the Board of Education, they are going to be giving me more information. But as to the mayor's point, that was great news about the ranking. And obviously there's been, as we wrap up the end of the year, a lot of award ceremonies and athletic ceremonies that have been great, celebrations for the athletic teams that have done so well and all the academic excellence. I'm looking for the update on the amount of scholarships that our district got for our students, which I think was pretty exceptional. And obviously, graduations are coming up this next week. So a lot to celebrate safely and happily for everybody. And moving on to the library report, the library welcomed a total of 8,520 visitors and had 6,000 website visits. They have upcoming events such as Color Our World, which is the summer reading challenge. They're doing the Color Our World Big Summer Reading events with the adult and teen summer reading kickoff event of a museum escape room, and that's Tuesday, June 24th from 7 to 8:30. They have the reading kickoff, the reading kickoff event, which is Thursday, June 26th at 7 p.m. And they're doing the New Jersey Man Bubble Show, which is Thursday, July 17th at 6:30 p.m., and Zoophoria Animal Show, which is a live animal show, on Thursday, July 24th at 6:30 p.m. And all of this can be found on their social media pages and on their website. Again, continue to reiterate that I'm blown away by our library and everything it has to offer, including the printer and the 3D printer and all of the things that are available for the community. So if you haven't been to the library, I strongly encourage you to do so. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hun.
Thank you, Council President. I have the Clark Police Department report for the month of May 2025. We saw a total of 1,959 calls for service, including but not limited to 131 ambulance requests, 75 alarm calls, 3 arrive calls, which is for mental health requests, 1 burglary, 8 fire department requests, 10 fraud identity thefts, 16 motor vehicle and residential lockouts, 93 motor vehicle accidents, 23 shoplifting and thefts, and 155 911 calls, and 1,045 miscellaneous calls. There was a total of 10 adult arrests, including but not limited to 2 for warrant and 7 for shoplifting. The Youth Aid Bureau handled a total of 15 cases, including but not limited to 1 for shoplifting, 5 for offenses against the family, 2 for truancy, and 2 for short-term disability. Excuse me, that's for my work job. I apologize for short-term custody. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilmember Mazzarella.
Yes, thank you, Council President. It's my DPW report for this evening. Electronic drop-off for this month will be conducted on June 28th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the DPW yard behind this building. ID is required. Now for grass pickup. Please, ladies and gentlemen, grass clippings only. No branches, twigs, plastic, and anything else. Our DPW staff has been directed to conduct random checks of the grass and the leaf bags. If there's any of these items in there, they will not pick up your grass clippings. We have to do this, ladies and gentlemen, because we have no way of disposing it. We can't pass it on to the entity that takes our grass. So please make a note of it. It won't be picked up if it is found that you have any twigs, branches, plastic, or any items other than grass. Please make note of that. To schedule any DPW services, go to www.ourclark.com and click the tab for online services. This covers tree permits, bulky, appliance, pickups, tree trimming, tree removal permits, mulch deliveries, potholes, and other items. So please go to that site and please let us know what appliance and metal you want to be picked up, because we have different vehicles for each of those items. And appointments are required Tuesday, the week before your scheduled pickup week. Bulky items, please, ladies and gentlemen, small items, just don't throw them out into the roadway or in front of your home. Put them in a bag. No paint or chemicals would be accepted because, again, we have no way to dispose of it. Branches can be placed out this week for pickup on June 23rd. Please make a note of it. so you could start placing them out. Please, there will be one pickup. Do not put any more out until July 20th. Our streets are starting to get unsightly. Well, there's a lot of debris because of all the rain and all of that, and the residents are just putting the branches out whenever they want, and it's becoming really an eyesore. So please be wary of that. So the next one would be July 20th. So if you need any other information, please go on your web for DPW at ourclark.com for more information. Thank you. That's the extent of my report.
Thank you. Councilmember O'Connor.
Thank you. I do have Councilman Minetti's Clark Fire Department report. In the month of May, the Clark Fire Department responded to 54 calls, bringing the total for the year to 217. Incidents included but are not limited to the following: 5 were for fire-related, 6 for rescue and EMS, 10 for hazardous conditions, 12 for service and good intent calls, and 20 were related to false alarms. Jimmy would like to thank the Clark Fire Department for participating in the annual Memorial Day Parade and for attending the dedication of the new AED that was donated by the Aliver Foundation. He would also like to extend his gratitude to the dedicated members of the Clark Fire Department for their continued hard work in keeping our town safe. The full fire department report is available in the clerk's office, and that concludes the fire report. For the Clark Volunteer Emergency Squad, get my glasses for this one. Squad activities. In May, the squad added a new probationary member. The squad participated in the Memorial Day Parade and ceremonies. The squad currently has Ambulance 515 out for remounting, and the county has lent us an ambulance to be available and should Ambulance 514 go out of service. Valley Road School Hat Day fundraiser for the squad was held, and they were most appreciative of that. Please check for recent fund drive requests and support them as best as you can. And the squad celebrated National EMS Week, and they thank all the members and provided drinks and snacks for all crews for the week. Their call volume was as follows. There was a significant increase in ambulance requests in the month. They had 139 calls with 5 mutual aid calls, but of course this doesn't include any calls that were dispatched and canceled on. Total hours responding to calls is approximately 903 man-hours. This does not include any hours that members are on duty when not on calls. Year-to-date call volume is 612 calls. For those who would like to assist the squad but may not have the time to do the EMT training, we are accepting applications for people who are interested in becoming drivers for the ambulance. Must be 18 years of age with a clean driving record. If you're interested, they can email the squad at www.ourclark.org or membership@clarkems.org. And they continue to service the community. The squad hosted 3 blood drives in April and is looking to expand the number each month as the need for blood is increasing. Due to the urgent need for blood at this time, there will be a blood drive every Tuesday at the squad from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Please consider donating. And the squad hosted an Eagle Court of Honor in May. Respectfully submitted, Lori Sheldon, trustee. And from the Finance Committee, the township continues to be able to meet its current obligations. Thank you, Jimmy, to you and your team. That concludes my reports. Thank you.
Councilmember Toll.
Thank you, Mr. President. No official report tonight. I'll save my comments later for the end of the meeting. Bye.
All right, I'm going to give a quick pool and rec report. If there's anyone who is interested in signing up for the summer rec program, there are last-minute spots available. We never turn anyone away, so please contact Ralph Bernardo or Emily Lambert at 732-428-8400, or you could always stop in the recreation office. The Clark Community Pool is now open and accepting membership registrations. I know the weather hasn't been cooperative, but it will be by the end of this week. It's going to be forecasted in the high 90s for a few days over the weekend into next week. So if you're interested, information is on the ourclark.com website under the Swim Utility tab. The Clark Family Night at Somerset Patriots was another huge success. I want to thank Ralph for coordinating that. And lastly, we'd like to thank Ralph for coordinating the annual Memorial Day Parade, which was another huge success. I want to thank all the Clark residents who lined the streets to cheer on the parade marchers, and a big thank you to William Duffy for his foresight into enlarging and updating the memorials at ALJ High School honoring Clark's fallen soldiers. And that's all I have this evening. So with that, we will, and all reports given this evening are available in the clerk's office or on the website. So we'll move on to ordinances, appropriations, and claims.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the record, no objections have been received in connection with the proposed ordinance. Ordinance 25-20 is a capital ordinance to appropriate the sum of $50,000 for the acquisition of a new compact excavator in, by, and for the Township of Clark in the County of Union, State of New Jersey, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from the Capital Improvement Fund of the Township.
Okay, at this time, I will open up the public hearing on this ordinance and this ordinance only. If anyone would like to come forward, please state your name and the town you reside in.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing. Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Second, Councilmember Hun. All in favor? Any opposed? At this time, I need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Mazzarella. Can I get a second? Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor. Any discussion or questions for the BA? Jim, do you have anything? Pretty
I mean, this is
self-explanatory.
just the purchase of, a Bobcat, as everybody knows it, and it's out of capital funds.
Yep. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted.
Okay, now we'll move on to introduction of proposed ordinances.
Ordinance 25-21 is an ordinance to amend Chapter 76 entitled Alcoholic Beverages, Section 76-10C, entitled Regulations of Licenses of the Code of the Township of Clark.
Thank you. Can I get a motion?
Move that, please.
Thank you, Councilmember Hun. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Any discussion?
Yeah, this is just to bring it into, to conform with other municipalities right now. We're just changing Sunday, moving it from 10 to 5 to 10 to 7.
Right. Anyone else have any questions for the BA on that? All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Public hearing on this ordinance will be July 21st.
Now we're going to move on to payment of claims. Councilman O'Connor.
Thank you. I have reviewed the bills for the month totaling $375,403.15.
Great, thank you. We're going to move on to the citizens' hearing on the agenda. I'll open the meeting to the public. The public comment portion of the meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Code of the Township of Clark. Each person addressing the council shall give their name and the town in which they reside to the clerk. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and shall not exceed 5 minutes in duration. At the conclusion of the statements or questions from a member of the public, the council president, at his discretion, may choose to respond or not respond. So at this time, if anyone would like to come forward on anything on the agenda.
Let me, you got it.
Hold on one second, John. Somebody will.
Okay, sorry about that. John Greaves from Clark. I just had a quick question about the agreement for 201 Broadway, the property there. What kind of agreement is it? Is it a sale, is it a rental, and I guess what would the town be doing with the property?
Yeah, so that's, there's a property on Broadway that has two pieces. It's surrounded by two pieces of property that the township owns. There is an encroachment on the property, so what we're doing is we're giving them a license to, use the property, not have to take any of the encroachments off, and we're also putting it out to bid. There's no guarantee that they will get it as part of the bid, but we are going to put out those two pieces of property to bid.
So the adjacent properties that we were talking about, you would put to bid?
No, we're going to put the bid out on the properties that we own.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Good evening, Delia Collins Clark. I just was wondering on endorsing number 4, endorsing the housing element of the Fair Share Plan. I've read on a couple other townships, not ours, information, Facebook, social media, that the Fair Share Plan should be available for citizens, taxpayers, residents to review it. And I was wondering if, because I have a copy and it's extremely long and complicated, I was wondering if there's something on the internet or the town website that this is there for the residents to breeze through and take a look at.
Okay, I can comment on that. So you were at the planning board meeting, and Paul gave you the report. That's the report.
Right, I know, but is it available online anywhere for anyone to review, or would you have to open it?
As mentioned, you'd have to just go down to town hall, and you can get a copy. And
It is also available online.
online, okay. It is, all of the planning board documents are online, but also you can go down and examine them as well.
Okay. Thank you.
So just to clarify for everyone that that this is an item that was discussed at the planning board meeting that the council is voting on this evening.
Michael Latza, Clark. Here to talk about the traffic at Old Raritan Road in Westfield. It continually is getting worse, but more importantly, it's getting very dangerous there.
This is only for agenda items, so there'll be a portion at the end of the meeting to come up and speak about it, okay?
Sorry.
We'll let you know when that is. Thank you. Yeah, this is just for anything on the agenda. All right, is anyone else? Seeing no one else? Ford, like a motion to close?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Can I get a second?
Second it.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll move on to resolutions.
First resolution is certifying to the local finance board of the state of New Jersey that the members of the governing body have reviewed as a minimum sections of the 2024 annual audit entitled General Comments and Recommendations.
Can I get a motion?
Can we have that, please?
And
I'll second that, please.
all right, thank you, Councilmember Hun. Any discussion?
Yeah, this is a state requirement that each member of the governing body has reviewed the audit, went through any findings, comments, recommendations, which there were none, and it's just signing off that you understand it.
All right, thank you. Councilmember O'Connor?
Yeah, I'd just like to make a few comments. And the Township of Clark's financial statements for the years ended December 31st, 2024 provide a comprehensive overview of the municipality's financial position under the regulatory basis of accounting mandated by the state of New Jersey. The audit was conducted by PKF O'Connor Davies, no relation to myself, LLP, which issued an unmodified opinion on the regulatory basis financial statements, affirming that they present fairly the financial position and operations of the township. The auditors reported no concerns or no deficiencies related to internal control, compliance, or financial reporting. The current fund showed total assets and deferred charges of $9.65 million in 2024, slightly down from $9.89 million in 2023, with a statutory excess of $2.76 million added to the fund balance, which stood at $5.32 million at year end. These figures reflect consistent fiscal management and effective budgetary controls. The other funds also reflected stable or improving financial health. The General Capital Fund, the Swim Pool Utility Fund, the Sewer Utility Fund reported operating surpluses and increased fund balances. Overall, the audit confirms that the township remains in sound financial condition with no audit concerns, with adequate reserves and proper fiscal oversight in place. Jim, congratulations to you and your team. Outstanding job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. When you're ready, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 4 is endorsing the Housing Element and Fair Share Plan as adopted June 5th, 2025 by the Planning Board and directing the Township's Affordable Housing Council to file the documents necessary to seek a compliance certification.
You get a motion?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Councilmember Mazzarella. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor. Any discussion? Jim, do you have anything to add on this?
Yes.
Or Mayor Albanese? Yeah.
So as you know, council, we had our attorney, Jeff Serenian, address the council in private session regarding this matter. And because of its litigious nature. The planning board met on June 5th and is presenting the plan for the Township of Clark, and it is due on June 30th, and we're really pleased, and I want to also thank Paul Rickey and Jeff Serenian, who were at the meetings, at the planning board meetings, and answered questions for the public, so we had our experts available to answer any questions that anyone had.
Thank you. Any other discussion? No. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Tool.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 5 is the council as the ABC Board authorizing the annual renewal of alcoholic beverage licenses for 2025 through 2026. And I'm happy to report that all licensees complied with all requirements.
That's great news. Can I get a motion?
A motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Can I get a second? Thank you, Councilmember Hund. Any discussion, questions? Pretty self-explanatory. It's just the renewal of all the town's liquor license.
Exactly, and they're all listed in the backup on the agenda. There's no changes.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes. All right, I think number 6 we're going to pull from the agenda because all the paperwork. You have something to say, Counselor?
Yes, number 6 is not ready. The other party has not responded to my comments yet, so the agreement is not ready to be considered.
Great, thank you. All right, number 7.
7 is authorizing the tax collector to prepare and mail estimated tax bills in accordance with public laws of 1994, Chapter 72.
You get a motion? Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor. You get a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilmember Mazzarella. Any discussion or roll call? This is because the state hasn't done their budget yet?
Pretty much. I mean, it's because of the late adoption of the New Jersey state budget, and the county still hasn't certified, County Board of Taxation still hasn't certified our taxes. So we can't send out the actual bill. We will send out the estimated bills based on our budget and the tax collector, the CFO. I mean, this is just a little bit more of a hassle because we got to mail them out and then, remail out the accurate tax bills when they come through. But in the end, it's, everybody will get a notice on when interest will start accruing. So, the deadlines are going to be a little bit different in this process.
We do this every year. Most times we get lucky. The county comes through.
We do, but I'm not sure we're going to get lucky this year. I mean, it's been there for a couple of weeks already, waiting for the county tax board's approval. I mean, it's usually a quick approval.
You have anything to add, Mayor?
No, just
Okay.
it's pretty common throughout the state. The logjam of work down at DCA, Division of Local Government Services, has to, certify all of the budgets. In addition, you've got the Department of Education, but the DCA has to deal with the counties and the municipalities. And by doing this, the taxes will be due on their regular date, August 1st. So it is very helpful to keep that in mind. And yeah, it's a good thing.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 8 is authorizing the mayor and/or business administrator to execute an agreement between the Township of Clark and Vincent and Stacy Melly in connection with the property located at 201 Broadway.
You get a motion?
A motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Can I get a second?
I'll second that,
Thank
please.
you, Councilmember O'Connor. Any discussion? I believe you mentioned it earlier. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, the only thing I do want to add that I left out is that they will also be providing insurance, naming the township as additional insured for those properties.
Great, that's important. Great, thank you. Anyone else? Questions, discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
I need to abstain, please.
Councilmember Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 9 is consenting to assignment and transfer of real property designated as Block 91, lots 8.01, 10.01, and 36, located on Westfield Avenue and Washington Street.
Can I get a motion?
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor. Can I get a second? Actually, I'll move that. I'll be the second on that. Any discussion? That's the old Knights of Columbus property?
Yeah, this is the old Knights of Columbus property. He was approached, the owner of the property was approached by a real estate development firm to take advantage of taking over that building proposition. It's going to be the same exact building, same mixed use. However, these are, very successful property developers. They also developed 999 Raritan on the corner, a bunch of properties in Linden, Elizabeth, Cranford, Rawway. And, we think this is good for the town. It'll probably even move it forward faster than it would have been under the individual developer. So that's why we're suggesting that we, make this transfer of the agreement.
Great, thank you for the explanation. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Abstain.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes. All right, when you're ready, we can move to consent agenda resolutions.
Following items are considered routine and non-controversial items by the Township Council and will be enacted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda to be discussed and voted on, following the approval of the remaining items listed on the consent agenda. First resolution is award of contract to Waste Management for solid waste services for bulky waste type 13 and 13C at the Union County rate of $119.12 per ton. Next is authorizing the tax collector to apply sewer account balance adjustments as credit in the amount of $2,200. Next is authorizing final payment to T. Fiatakis Construction LLC for work completed on the Year 50 Community Development Block Grant, ADA curb and sidewalk improvements in the amount of $14,440. Number 13 is refunding construction permit 22-432 in the amount of $1,928.40. And finally, authorizing a professional services agreement with Lou Environmental Services to manage lead testing of residential rental units built prior to 1978 in compliance with NJAC 5:28A and at the property owner's expense, and to prepare and submit required documentation to the state on behalf of the township free of charge.
Get a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Could I get a second?
Yes, I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilmember Mazzarella. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes. Okay, at this time, we will now go to public comments. I'll open the meeting to the public. Oh, I'm sorry, any new business on the calendar?
There's no new business.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to public comments. The public comment portion of the meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Code of the Township of Clark. Each person addressing the council should give their name and the town in which they reside. To the clerk, all remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and shall not exceed 5 minutes in duration. At the conclusion of the statements or questions from a member of the public, the council president, at his discretion, may choose to respond or not respond. So now is the appropriate time.
My Michael Latza, Clark. I'm here to talk about the traffic and the dangerous condition at Old Raritan Road and Westfield Avenue. It is continually getting worse and worse. Over the last 2 years, I already had a drunk driver run up my driveway, slam my car into the garage and into the house. I've also been sitting at the stop sign, car speeding by, took the corner too sharp, hit me head on. My neighbor yesterday got hit coming out of the driveway. The cars are constantly speeding coming from Federbed. They're doing 50 miles an hour. I can't even cut my grass because I'm afraid they're gonna go up on top of the curb. We can't put our branches out or grass because they run over it. The neighbors do go to Retro Fitness, there's no crosswalks. The stop sign, nobody stops. And then the worst part is when the trains come, they back up, and then the people drive up the wrong side of the street. And almost twice a week, I almost get hit head on with the people that are coming up on the wrong side of the road. And beside that, if you want to come to my house, you can listen to the cursing that constantly goes on outside the house. It's horrible. And the train traffic over the last 2 years has continually increased. And if you're there anytime during the day, there's 2 trains at a time, it'll back up down to the police station. That's how far it'll go. There has to be something done. The stop sign, there has to be no left turn put there because all it's doing is just causing the traffic and it's becoming very dangerous. My neighbors next door have 2 young kids that ride their bikes, and I'm scared for them. My kids are a little older, they're gone, but it's getting really scary in that area, and there's something that has to be done.
All right, we'll answer all the questions at the end because we don't want to take anyone's time up.
Okay,
So
thank
we
you.
will thank you, Michael.
Nancy Twaskis, Clark. I have 2 things tonight that I'd like to speak to. The first one is sort of a mea culpa, and I did have a post on Facebook related to the No Kings protests that were planned for Broadway last Saturday. And at the time I wrote the post, little did I know that I had an email response from the mayor's office sitting in my spam. So thanks to Jim Ehrlich, he brought that to my attention, and I did find it in my spam. It was a very thorough, well-written email regarding the attention that all police departments were paying to the planned event. And I did go into Facebook, and I did change my post to acknowledge I did receive an email, and it really helped me get over my concerns that how did I ever think the police departments were not really paying attention to this? But since the only information I received was through the Clark Patch, letting me know this was happening, so I do appreciate the police departments being on top of it. And I'm not sure what happened on Saturday. My neighborhood was quiet. I don't live that far away. And it was raining, so I don't know if that interfered with the activities, but I do want to acknowledge that, unfortunately, it was in my spam. Why an email went to my spam, I've gotten email from the town a lot. Maybe it was the subject matter that got it there. Jim did provide me with some links. Maybe those got it there, but I don't know. So look in your spam. If you think you should get an email, which I thought I would get an email, look in your spam first before you think you didn't get an email in the future. So I do want to do a mea culpa on that one. The second is the property that's being developed behind my house, being developed at 52 Skylark Place. I did do an Oprah for the permit, and I did get the permit. And the thing that is, and I'm here not to criticize, I don't work in the construction department. I've done my own, had permits in the past where I had to provide plans. And the only thing I want to say about the permit is it kind of loosely describes the property being built. I mean, it says it's a second floor addition, and I don't want to go and read it because I don't know what I can read and can't read off of it. One thing is a comment, a second floor addition. It makes no reference to a second and a half floor addition, or a habitable attic, which I didn't go through our ordinances in town. I don't even know if a habitable attic is mentioned in our ordinances. If it's not, maybe it needs to be added. But it's just a observation that, in the future, if somebody goes and looks at this, pulls this permit and looks at it, and looks at the structure, they'll probably be scratching their head saying, where are the plans? Because this thing doesn't look like, what my lion eyes are telling me. So just an observation with the particular permit here. And actually, I'll throw in a third thing. I think the town is very lucky to have Jim Ehrlich as our business administrator, because in both of these cases, he was the one that I communicated with, and it was a very pleasant and professional interaction that I had. So thank you, Jim. That's it.
Thank you, Nancy.
Good evening, Council. Glenn Fogarty, Clark resident, live off of Lake Avenue by Goodman's Crossing. First, before I talk about the topics I wanted to cover briefly tonight, hopefully, I wanted to second my concerns about that intersection, Old Raritan Road, Featherbed. It's a nightmare. I go that way to get home towards Lake Avenue sometimes. I'm not a traffic engineer. I really don't know what can be done to improve that, but people from wherever they're from are not obeying the traffic laws there in terms of right-of-way. I've had a couple of close calls myself of people nearly colliding into me. Again, it might take a magician in terms of a traffic engineer to re-engineer that place, but it's pretty unnerving. So tonight I'd just like to make a couple of comments. I call it a tale of two holidays, or tale of two patriotic holidays. I want to compliment Clark this evening. The Memorial Day parade and the festivities or celebrations addition of veterans to the memorials was outstanding. I think it gets better and better every year. The weather was great. It was really inspiring and moving to see that and how it all played out. From a matter of decorum, though, and this is not something that the town can control, it's a matter of just good, solid practice on the part of private citizens. Last year, it was bad enough that Mike Schulman from Stronger Clark was fiddling around with his cell phone while the anthems were going on. As the ceremony was going on, and they weren't misbehaving or anything, is that I turned around. I don't think any political party should be going around with a group of T-shirts using Memorial Day as an electioneering opportunity. So I don't even know who's part of Stronger Clark these days, but it was all ducks in a row of 4 or 5 Stronger Clark people standing behind me. Again, they were respectful. But I'd say this to a Republican or a Libertarian or anyone else. Memorial Day is not the day for electioneering and sloganeering and things like that. Now, turning to the topic of the other holiday, Flag Day, which was this past Saturday, I had to get to the train station in Rahway, and I made the mistake of going Westfield Avenue to cross over West Grand on St. George. It took about 3 changes of the light for me to get through that, because some of the people at a park that's supposed to be dedicated to veterans, and yes, this is a Rahway issue, but no one heard of this group before like 2 weeks ago, before George Soros or the Chinese government or whoever is funding this put it up. Whoever heard of No Kings before this month? So all of a sudden, this organic movement. Well, I guess they saw a flag or something they didn't like on my car, and all I heard was a torrent of profane speech. I saw a bunch of profane signs, people yelling, "Free, free Palestine," which have been fighting words in a lot of cases, even attacking Governor Shapiro in Pennsylvania. You know, the level of far-left extremism from this movement, I applaud to the level of whatever police departments were involved in keeping an eye on this, But when people are flipping me the bird as I'm just trying to drive to the train station, screaming that I'm a fascist or whoever doesn't agree with this group is a fascist, that goes beyond free speech. I don't know where these people came from. This is an old Maoist tactic of claiming something is an organic movement when it's most definitely organized by outside interests that just pull these people in to do this sort of thing. But, you know, good luck when this happens trying to get your train, because I missed mine, trying to make a dinner appointment in the city. These people, you know, my family escaped communist Czechoslovakia. These people aren't loyal Americans. They're communists, they're capos, and they're a bunch of creeps. Yes, it's not a Clark issue, but these people were way out of control, and when people are banging on my window,
I don't mean to interrupt you, but you have about 30 seconds, so if you can wrap it up.
Yeah,
Thank
I'll
you.
wrap it up. Again, tale of two holidays, Memorial Day in Clark, outstanding. Flag Day over in Rahway, and this is not knocking the city of Rahway, disgraceful. Thank you, good evening, and let's all hope we somehow can get that corner fixed too, someday. Have a nice evening. Thank you, council.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Delia Collins Clark. I have a few things to go over, and I'll try to be brief. At one of the last meetings, Mr. Dugan was going to let me know if the contamination report had come through regarding the pistol range. The county is planning to have us pay or whatever, and I wondered if there was any remediation needed by Clark before we can go ahead. Also, I wanted to know, and I've never been behind there, is there a barrier between the proposed, or is there a barrier back there between the property line of the pistol range and the proposed walking path? I was just wondering for safety issues. We did hear from the county, and there was awarding of a contract for the dredging. It will be opened by our committee to see what it involved. The boathouse is a separate bid process through the county, so that has not come, we have not gotten any knowledge on that. Also, I wanted to thank the Clark Police that they did not take any action against the bear that invaded our town. And I want to thank them for the restraint that they entailed not, and the people get hysterical, and the poor thing was just trying to get out of town, get back to where he was from, which we don't know if he was in Rahway, Westfield, Berkeley Heights, wherever, but I'm glad that he didn't get killed like one of the state troopers did one on Route 80 over the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
And since I've been living in this town, the area that the gentleman mentioned with the traffic issue, for the first time in my life, I was petrified at that stop sign to come to the library and make the left turn onto Westfield Avenue, well, continue left onto Westfield Avenue. It's a hazard. People were backed up all the way to Raritan Road and Westfield Avenue, and it just was scary trying to make a left turn. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I live on King Street in Clark, and in front of my house I have a storage drain, and the macadam on both sides has collapsed. I've been calling the town, I've been calling Public Works, and they keep on saying to me, oh, we got the engineer, and they don't do anything. Last year they put a cone there for a week. This year, my nephew came over one night and he slid on the ice because it doesn't go down, and he practiced and he had to get stitches. I don't know what you can do about it, but something has to be done. You know, because water doesn't go down, it just sits there and builds up, the ice builds up. In the summer, I have mosquitoes, and in the winter I have ice. So I have pictures of it, I can show you the pictures. But I don't know what else to do. But, I called the Department of Public Works, I talked to Katie, and she said, well, the engineers have it. This has been going on for 2 years. So what else can I do?
Do you have any other questions?
What?
They
don't answer.
All right, excuse me. Do you have any other questions?
No.
Okay, so when the meeting's over, if you would just go see Mr. Ulrich or the mayor.
Okay.
Make sure that they get your number, your address, and I'm sure tomorrow someone will be on top of this for you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, John Greaves from Clark. After last meeting, I felt compelled to make a statement. And what I want to say is that the way you're conducting yourselves in this chamber is hurting Clark, and I'd like you to stop. I've been hoping we'd move beyond the bad behavior of the past so we could address other issues affecting Clark, but Mr. Miniti's disrespectful and unprofessional outburst, among other things from last meeting, makes it clear that the same pattern of hostility towards the public is going to continue. Despite what you think, I don't like coming here. I don't like figuring out childcare and missing bedtime with my kids to come here. I'm here because your actions created a big problem over the last few years, and I'm worried about our community's future. When you act the way you do, you intimidate our community. When I come here and ask reasonable questions politely and they receive sarcastic answers, not only does that demean your position, it scares away people from public dialogue. Because it's not about me, really. It's about the message it sends to the person who's not standing up here, who might have something to say, but maybe they're a bit nervous. It makes other residents retreat from participating in our government. When this chamber hurls vulgar insults and aggression, it creates fear in our residents because they ask themselves, if they're that hostile publicly, what might they do privately? What if I make myself a target if I speak up? When I criticize pilot agreements that add burden to our schools and to our residential taxpayers, you invent some narrative that I'm insulting the teachers. I'm the one trying to help the teachers. I want higher salaries and more resources. You're the ones making the bad deals. I'm the one saying, stop, don't do that. And that makes people not want to speak up, because what if you twist their words like that too? You say you're transparent, but you're not. There's very little information available online except for what's legally required. Nearly everything else needs to be done with an Oprah request, but what do you do when people use an Oprah request? You shame them. You love to bring up one Oprah request I made over a year ago. You say you can't imagine what I wanted all that info for, except it was the former mayor right here in this chamber who said we should look and see that Clark's tax appeals were 2 or 3 times higher before he was in office. So I did. Since he was in office for 25 years, you have to go back a long way. I emailed the business administrator before I did and asked him if he could verify the mayor's claim. He told me to do an Oprah request, so I did. Then on multiple occasions, you try to publicly shame me for exercising my legal right to access information about the town and for verifying if what's said in this chamber is actually true. When you do that, it hurts transparency in the government. Now, people who might want to do an Oprah request are going to worry about whether they might be asking for too much information. Will they be shamed? How much is too much? This makes people scared to ask questions. You'll say that you're obeying the law, but what I'd like to say is that obeying the law should be the minimum standard, not the only standard. It might be legal to pass a 30-year tax break for developers in a special meeting instead of the regular meeting and not have an official video recording, but it isn't transparent. It might be legal to pass our $33 million town budget without making a presentation to the resident, but it's not transparent. You're so quick to condemn me for asking questions and raising issues, but you don't seem to condemn bad behavior like the crimes and misconduct of the previous mayor. You stay silent when we need you to speak up. You didn't speak up when we lost our police chief. You didn't speak up when we lost control of our police department. You didn't speak up when our mayor got convicted. You appointed a purchasing agent with a history of conflict of interest violations, and you didn't say anything when this fact was brought up. You didn't say anything when the last mayor was abusive to the public, and you don't say anything now that the tradition continues with Mr. Miniti. When you tell me I should move out because I criticize your decisions, not only are you being ridiculous, you're being un-American. Because here in America, the very First Amendment says we have the God-given right to petition our government with grievances. So if you have a problem with that, maybe I'm not the one who needs to think about moving. I'd also like to remind you that you represent the residents of Clark. You're not actually the town of Clark. Criticizing your leadership is not criticizing the town of Clark. Clark's our home. This is where we live. It isn't a shield for you to hide behind when you get called out. So if you really want to get rid of me, don't yell. Do your jobs better. Show us we can trust you, and I'll happily spend these evenings with my family instead of here asking for accountability. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to come forward? All right, we're going to do a motion to close. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, come on, Martha.
Hi, Martha Kamichoff Clark. What I just heard just like really irritates me from the gentleman. I don't know. I have known this council. I've lived here for 30 years. I don't like any of you being attacked. You're all sitting up here, you're coaches, you're volunteers in our town. You do so much good for our town. And then people come up and attack you like that, which is unreasonable. You are nothing but transparent. You are approachable by every citizen in this community. I don't have to sit here and read off a piece of paper because I speak from my heart. Okay, I love this town. I volunteer in this town. I do everything I can for this town. And God bless all of you for taking care of us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Mary Semler, Conger Way, Clark. I would like to just reiterate a couple of things that...
Can you just speak in the microphone? Or yeah, perfect, thank you.
I would like to reiterate a couple of things that Mr. Greaves said. A few years ago, I was here, and I was talking about some things that had been going on in town, and several people, several of my neighbors, wanted to come to the council meeting, and they did say that they were fearful of retaliation, and especially for their children. And someone up on the dais rolled their eyes, as if this is simply not true. And I do want to say, as a person who has been a public employee for 42 years, it is really, really important, regardless of what party we're on and what things we believe in, that we try to have mutual respect and not twist the words of what people are saying, and really try to understand that we do have people in our town who are very fearful of retaliation, because there has been, whether in fact or it's the perception, that when people come to the town to ask for something they need, they will not get it. Whether it is a police response, whether it is a permit for their home, whether it is something that needs to be done by the DPW. So I'm merely just saying that the last meeting I was at, where Councilman Minetti acted in the manner that he did, was damaging to this body, all of you, and damaging to the Township of Clark. We should not be asking people, when the hell are you going to move out of town? Each of us may not be a volunteer with the children's softball or the camp, but many of us are caregivers. Many of us help our elderly neighbors, and many of us do things that aren't necessarily attention-getting to make the town better. So I think that it's really important that you all understand that. It's not how long we've lived here that makes us part of Clark and that makes us love Clark. We just want it to be better wherever it can be better. This is not to say we don't do some things really well, but that really was very upsetting to a lot of people, and even people who I know who viewed the meeting and viewed the YouTube video afterwards. It just really is unacceptable behavior from a person that's an elected official to act that way in a public forum, and it does frighten other people away. So thank you for listening to me. I don't necessarily need a response, but I do want you to understand we have a lot of people in this town who are hesitant to speak up because they are fearful. And I don't think any one of you, although I certainly hope you don't, want the public that you're supposed to serve to be fearful that they're going to be retaliated against. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, so seeing none, we're going to have a motion to close this portion before we respond. So can I get a motion to close?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff, and second, Councilmember Hun. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. I'll do the easy stuff first, and Jim, you can jump in. On the gun range in the back, there is a very high berm, which is probably, 15 feet high back there? Now, there is no path behind it. When the park is put in, or the walking path, that is coming out. I believe they found there is no contamination in that?
Yeah, we got the preliminary report. There is no contamination. We're just trying to figure out how we're going to dispose of it and where, right? Because there's still a lot of different type of requirements, having to have the certificate of origin for the material, where it's going, how it's being delivered there. So we're working through it. It's probably going to either go to an incinerator or it's going to be going to a landfill to use as cover. And we don't know if it's going to be New Jersey or Pennsylvania. I mean, I could go on for time. However, the police range will no longer be used since it has already passed its passed the review from the LSRP, and the LSRP actually did the samples, making sure that there was none of the contaminants exceeded the levels required by law.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, LSRP is Licensed Site Remediation Professional, in case anybody's wondering.
Good to ask you. Thank you. What else was there? Regarding the, Delia, regarding the county and the dredging, that whenever they come to us and tell us they got a bid or a contract on that, they'll...
That's what she mentioned. They have the contract. They've gone out to bid. She's going to look at the agreement. We can do the same.
Right.
That'll outline that, and then they're going out to bid for the building separately.
Jim, do you want to address the Westfield Old Raritan? I know we did a big police study and traffic study on that about a year and a half ago, if my memory is...
Yeah, do you want to take it? Do you want me to take it?
Well, let me just start out by saying, Dr. Michael Latza, I saw you earlier. I've been meaning to stop by your house. I haven't had a chance to discuss with our police officers. One of the suggestions that I have is that we have a yellow sign with 2 arrows, one saying you have to go right or left so that no one's coming at night. It's a reflective sign that would prevent cars from coming. I don't know if Captain Lott would like to comment on the studies that have been done in the past. We're in a bit of a quandary because, the town was built the way it was, your home was built the way it was as you bought it, but things have changed that surround the area. We have a situation where if you come down Featherbed Lane, you can't make a left turn in the morning. We have other prohibitions in terms of if we rerouted the traffic. I don't see how it would work out. If we had all the cars, for example, go down to L'Oreal Way and go down to Westfield Avenue, they're just going to come around and come back to Westfield Avenue. I don't know, Captain Lott, if you want to make any comments tonight, but I would suggest that we have a separate meeting with you on this in terms of what we can do for your specific situation. And then, I heard, Mr. Fogarty also comment on it. I drive by there every day, and it is a Russian roulette when you're going straight through and cars are trying to make a left. So I'd like to talk with the experts on the traffic situation and review that, and then meet with you separately on that. And then we can report back to the community on what the plan will be.
Great,
Okay?
Thank you. Yep.
Mm-hmm. There isn't a meeting that goes by where I comment on that. You know, we've tried some of the calming, you know, with the signs, the details out there. So we're aware of it.
When the meeting's over, if you would, just,
Yeah.
you go up to the mayor, make sure, exchange the information. Like I said, I know we did a big traffic study. I know it's at the top of the list again to look at and see what other ramifications or things we can do and change for you. All right? Nancy, regarding the house behind you, I don't know what we can do about that other than going to the code or the planning board, or, I mean, it's built, it's the code.
I've gone through this a few times with the construction code official. Everything is, you know, within our ordinance, everything's permitted. You know, it's really up to the council if they want to make any changes to it, but right now, the permit was issued within the ordinance. All the construction is being done within the ordinance, right? So you can have that half a level up there.
And I believe all the houses in town are only 2 stories, single residence, and the top floor is an attic or storage space, correct? There's no living space.
Yeah, yes, in some circumstances, however, there are exceptions to it.
Right. Okay. You have anything to add? No? No, okay. Was there anything else that we need to address on that?
Yeah, I do have one other thing. We did receive the concern about the sewer backups. We did jet it. I just confirmed with because I knew he was going out there, I just confirmed with our DPW supervisor. We jetted it 3 weeks ago, so that should alleviate any of the backup issues.
Okay.
So, as you know, it's not that we brought in GovPilot to, you know, just capture everything. We actually follow up and make sure that things have been done. I follow up on a weekly basis. I just didn't know when, but this was jetted, so hopefully that will alleviate some of that backup.
And I guess the other lady who had an issue with the water or whatever at the end of the meeting, if she can just come get your number and go from there. So we already closed that. Does anyone else have any comments to address anything? All right, at this time, we'll move to Mayor Albanese. Do you have anything, professional comments?
Some comments this evening? Yeah, I'd like to have the community meet our new police director, Pat Grady, so if he can come up and say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Patrick Grady. I'm a retired Clark Police Captain. I retired 6 years ago. As fate would have it, I am now back in this building that I actually helped plan. 6 years ago, I was on the planning committee to create this building, and now I'm back as the police director. I'd like to thank Mayor Albanese for having the trust in me and faith in me to bring me back here to lead this, great police department. Thanks to the council also for having faith in me. Listen, I'm born and raised in this town. Been here my whole life, raised 4 children here. I have a deep vested interest in this town. My dad always told me when he before he passed, he always told me, my mom and I moved into this town because it's a safe town. He always told me that. I stayed here, raised my 4 kids here, and I'm a firm believer that this town is safe because of our police department. Right? And it's my goal to keep it that way. Keep it safe. And I'm happy to be here. I look forward to working with these two fine gentlemen over here, Captain Akabu, Captain Lott, and the rest of the command staff here at the police department. It's a pleasure to be back home. So, thank you.
Okay. I want to start by thanking the A. Liver Foundation, Susan Paul, for donating the outdoor AED machine equipment that's posted at the site there for the safety of our citizens, children in this town. It's an amazing unit. It has a thermostat that keeps it warm in the winter, keeps it cool in the summer, so it's made for the outdoors. And she had a very compelling story to tell about her own experience, and we really do appreciate the gift that she has given, and I hope that you'll see the video that we made and will be presented on our YouTube channel. And I want to thank EMS representatives that were there. They gave a demonstration, had people involved in getting down on the ground and doing CPR and following some of the new regulations and using some of the newer equipment that's available. Also want to thank the fire department and our police department for coming out that day, and all the citizens that were able to attend that event.
The emergency squad as well, Mayor.
I did. I started out with them. Yes, as I said, they gave a demonstration, which was fantastic. And we might be looking into doing some CPR training, either at the library or some programs that are available to citizens. This past year, Ralph Bernardo had a program where all the coaches were offered an opportunity to get trained with the AD equipment and keep up to speed with things that change. Things do change over time. I want to thank all Ralph Bernardo for the Memorial Day Parade, and also thank Bill Duffy and all the citizens who participated, contributing to the new monuments that were given. It was a fabulous day. We had great weather, so it was really wonderful, and I'll be reaching out to many of those who contributed, small and large. We really appreciate it. If you are over 65, or I should say 67, and you did not take advantage of the senior tax freeze, I want to put you on notice that you can go back and retroactively file if you missed the opportunity to file for the senior tax freeze. I met with a representative from the Treasury Department at the Tax Collectors and Treasurers Conference, and they said if you go back, you can't get prior year's refunds, but you can get your taxes reduced significantly if your freeze occurred several years ago. So please, if you know of anyone elderly that might be able to take advantage of this, please reach out to me and I can help them out. Nancy, thank you for the mea culpa. I did call the police department when I saw your email, and I know Jim was working on the response, and asked them to also post on the site. And as was mentioned, you know, of course, our police department work with the county, work with all the different entities and organizations to be prepared for events like that. So thank you for that. And that's all I have at this time.
Thank you. Councilmember Huff?
Yes, thank you. I was at the installation of the AED at Bartell. I thought that was great. Thank you to the first responders, and having followed Jill's story and also the Jadrow's mom, when that happened, it was an amazing life-saving story, so I think that that's really great. There's been many reasons to celebrate as we reach the end of the school year, so congratulations to the ALJ class of 2025 this week as they graduate. Well prepared, I'm sure, to go out into the world. And I'm sure we all offer them, our students, teachers, and administration, congratulations on another successful school year, and wishing everyone safe celebrations and a fun, very long, very safe summer. So I'm looking forward to that. Just on a personal note, I do want to address something. I don't want to go into it too far with the council member not being present. I'm not comfortable with that. But I'm new here. And, you know, I've heard a lot of feedback tonight about words like mutual respect and twisting words, sarcasms and accusation, insinuation, suggestions. Those are all things I absolutely agree with. That's something that should occur, mutual respect on all sides. Accusations, insinuations, and things like that are equally difficult to sit there and listen to. I watch as legitimate questions get answered. I get emails from people. I see the mayor and the business administrator and my fellow council people answer questions from members of the community, and I love it. I think it's amazing when people reach out. We get to talk to people all the time. So I would encourage anyone who feels that you have something to say to please reach out. I found this nothing but welcoming and open. And prior to my time on the council, I had questions. I had 1,000 questions that I was lucky to get answered and had no problems with. But honestly, like just sitting here, every time the suggestion of I'm only up here for transparency, I don't know how you don't see that as an insult. I don't know how it's not seen that every time someone stands up and says, well, I'm only asking this for transparency, is not, it has to have, like, you can't just have the one side and not the other. It's a backhanded remark that's up here every time. And quite frankly, I'm super lost about the comments about fighting for the teachers. When the Board of Education tells us what they need repeatedly, I don't understand how anyone else is in a better position than them to speak on their behalf. It's uncomfortable. It's, you know, I think everyone who stood up tonight has something valuable to say, but you know, the questions get answered. The council, I mean, immediately, there's issues that have come up that are going to be addressed by the time people leave here tonight. You talk about, like, making Oprah requests for things that are publicly available, and transparency keeps being said. It's there for the taking, for the reading, for the looking at, for the asking. You don't have to Oprah request things that are available and cost the township money. It's confusing. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it and how all of this works sometimes. But at some point, I just think that twisting words and mutual respect and making accusations is not a one-way street. And that's probably all I should say tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hun.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to congratulate, as Councilwoman Hoff did, the graduates that will be graduating this week from the grammar school, middle school, and the high school. It's all a big achievement for all of them, for the older boys and girls who may go off to college or may start working. Good luck in your endeavors. Whichever way you choose is your path. Some people are made to go to college, some people are not. I have examples of that in my own household where 2 went to college, 1 did not, and all 3 of them are doing well. So when you hear someone that's not going to college, I know people may think that's the wrong thing, but it's the right thing for that person if that's what they believe. So don't look at people just because they don't go to college, that they're not smart, entrepreneurial, all different things. I went off on a little tangent there, but everyone has their own path to blaze, and good luck to all of the graduates this year. With regards to availability, I will say that for myself, I'll speak for myself, I'm available at any time to be reached by phone or email or stopped wherever I may be in the town. I hope no one thinks of me as someone that's going to, what was the word? Excuse me. Intimidate or suffer repercussions for speaking to me on a question. Everything that's asked of me, I handle, work with the business administrator most of the time, and we resolve or attempt to resolve, if we can, the issues that were brought to me. So please feel free to always contact me, whether you're a third ward resident and or any resident in the town, because I do receive calls from multiple people that are not in my ward. So thank you very much, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Councilmember Mazzarella.
Yes, thank you, Council President. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been on council now for going on 28 years. I have been on council as long as our mayor, when she was on council, our administrator, Councilman Toll, and we've seen this community evolve from a almost failed community to where it is today, a vibrant, caring, relatively affordable, and safe community. And we have you to thank for that, because I, our mayor, our administrator, Brian, and the rest of council listen. Listen to the residents. That's why we have become a community as where it is right now. There was some question about some individuals coming up and saying they feel hurt, they're unhappy about the comments that council has made. Likewise, we're frustrated with those comments because it just seems that it's for political gain. That's all. It's not for anything else. The other resident came up and talked about it's known that some people are afraid to say something because of retribution. I have not encountered that. And as I have said, every month, if a resident has a concern on their well-being or safety, it's incumbent upon them to give our police department a call, or if you're concerned about your well-being on retribution, call our administrator or call one of us. We'll be happy to address it, because I think the key here is to listen constructively and not make political hyperbole here and just hear themselves talk, because that's what some people are doing. And we've evolved every 4 years, it happens the same way. People come up and beat the same drum. Now, if you're really concerned about this community, give us credible alternatives on what more than what we have been doing for our community. If we're doing something wrong, if we're doing something that you do not agree with, and you have a better way, tell us. It just seems that some individuals come up and just say, the school is not run good, or we're not doing something good in the township. Okay, what can we do to make it better? There's nothing, there's silence. So I would urge all of the community, certainly speak your mind, and you have a fundamental and constitutional right to do that. But don't just offer hyperbole. Offer some constructive criticism and constructive way on what we could do to make your life easier, to make your life better here. There's nothing. You just come up and you say what you're going to say, that we're doing something wrong, but without any alternatives. We're not mind readers. We're doing the best we can here. And I think we've done a pretty darn good job in the 28 years that I've been on council. And I'm proud of our mayor. I'm proud of our administrator. I'm proud of Brian. I'm proud of council here, because we're working as a team. And we will continue to work as a team, to the chagrin of some individuals that come up here and say, we're not doing a good job. Well, give us an alternative. I'm sorry, I said enough tonight. Thank you very much for listening to me. Good night.
Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor.
Thank you very much. Regarding the traffic at Old Round Road, I go by it every day. I'm sure you guys know, I know you guys. So I'd like to be part of it with the mayor and yourselves, part of the discussion, as I, too, live that problem as the mayor does. She lives right down the street from you as well. So we're looking forward to finding a solution we can all live with. But as the mayor alluded to, it's difficult with a no left turn because if you can't make a left turn there, you can't go down to Featherbed Lane and make the left turn onto Raritan Road. So no one would ever be able to make a left. So there needs to be something done, but it can't be a no left turn because they're really, right? So we're going to talk a little bit later, right? But I just want to let you know, hey, I'm with you guys. Thanks to everybody who participated in Memorial Day Parade. And until next month, have a good month. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Toll.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to keep my comments brief but accurate. This July 4th, 2025, is the 54th anniversary of the death of Clark Patrol Officer Billy Watterson. Billy Watterson lived on 7 Jenny Lane. He was a Clark kid, grew up in the town, went to Brewer, then he went over to ALJ and graduated in 1965. After getting out of high school, he went on and became a Marine and went to Vietnam, where he was sent into Bush. He went into country, came out, survived, came back, and he came back into Clark in New Jersey, and he went on the Clark Police Department for a job. His father was a police captain in the Clark Police Department. Billy drove the streets of Clark in these old Plymouth Furies. They were very popular. If anybody's a car guy, you remember these Plymouth Furies that drove all the local streets. There was that weird green, it was like a hunter green. So that was the patrol units, they were out. Billy Watterson and his partner, Richie Ryder, a Clark kid, they knew each other. They worked and patrolled the division in Clark. Back then it was a little bit different, a different world. A little bit good and bad. A lot of innocence and a lot of insanity. On July the 3rd, Billy Watterson and Richie Ryder were sitting where Jack's Tavern was, which is now the CBS. How this town's changing, it's unbelievable. So they were sitting in the parking lot. Billy Watterson's parents were just coming home. Captain Watterson was off duty. He comes home and pulls up next to his son in a patrol car. How are you doing, son? When you get off shift, come on home. We have a dinner, we have supper waiting for you at 7 Jenny Lane. Billy Watterson then, with Richie Ryder, who was driving, drove down Brant Avenue, around the old Parkway Circle, which is cut into sections now, went under the Parkway Bridge, and they started hearing some commotion or screaming. Where the ShopRite is today used to be Howard Johnson's Motor Lodge. It was taken down in the mid-1990s to create the Super ShopRite, which is now obsolete, which is crazy. They heard screaming. They drove into the old Howard Johnson's Motor Lodge, went to the back of it. If you remember, there was a building where they served the ice cream, and then you went back where the motels section was. They drove around the perimeter of the place. They heard screaming, and as they drove up to the back motel section, they saw somebody attacking a young couple who were on the balconies. They pulled up the unit, screamed at them, stop, hold it. The guy jumps off the second floor balcony into a shrub and runs off into the parkway. The parkway had shrubbery. It was a larger parkway then. There was more space to it. Watterson and Richie Ryder left the patrol unit and ran after the guy, thinking nothing of it. Hey, the guy was doing something stupid and we're going to stop him. When they went into the shrubbery and the woods is the proper term, they cornered the guy behind some shrubs, ordered him to come out. He then, without a moment's notice, opened fire on the officers, striking Billy Watterson twice, in the chest and in the side. Richie Ryder had jumped down when he heard the shots. On July 3rd into July 4th, Patrol Officer William John Watterson, who was known in the police department from his friends as Rabbit, because he talked like a rabbit. William Watterson was taken from the scene, transported to Rahway Hospital, where he died on the operating table, July 4th, 1971. I tell this story because this township, with all the current issues and traffic, there's always been traffic in this town. This town's not going to get better until we start doing something about the state. The state has to correct the issues because they're building by demand, not building by progress. It's not progress, it's forced progress. So this happened then, and it can happen again. We never want something like this to happen. One of our own goes out on a patrol, which they do every night. They do it right now. There's men out on a patrol. And what happens? A stupid event, and a loss of life, and one of our own. This township never has recovered from this. I run into Billy's sister, Jenny, in town from time to time, and it's just heartbreaking to still see her 54 years later that she lost her brother. She was in tears over it, and who wouldn't be? It shouldn't have happened. Anybody who remembers this, it should have never have happened, but it did. And it can happen again if we don't take the steps to have the strongest police department with Pat Grady, our beloved captains, and all the men who are trained properly. We will make sure we have and prevent such a horrible, horrible thing. I'm going to end the story on Billy Watterson tonight. I hope that on July 4th, there's a memorial service. Clark PBA 125 has a service in front of this building to honor Billy and all the fallen, those who have served in the police department in Clark. We ask you to please come out and join us. That's at 10 o'clock, guys? Guys? The memorial service for Watterson's at what time? 9, 10? Usually 10 o'clock. Thank you, Captain. So that's all I've got on this issue. But I want to also address the resident from King Street. I'm going to talk to you after this meeting. I'm going to get your contact information and find out more of the details. I did not know anything about this. You brought it to my attention, and we're going to help you, is what I try to say to you. We're going to help you. That's all I have tonight, Mr. President. I wish everyone a healthy and happy 4th of July. Please do not forget Billy Watterson. And politics goes like the wind. It's good, it's bad, and it's cold sometimes. And other times it gets really hot. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you. I believe Mayor Albanese, you have something you need to add?
I think it's appropriate after Brian's comment just now. Yeah, it gets hot sometimes. I just want to say, to respond to John Greaves, and I appreciate the comments from Councilwoman Huff and Mazzarella thus far this evening. You know, for a long time I sat up there as council president for 2 years. We were taunted, criticized, called names for not speaking out, when clearly our attorney would say that we couldn't speak about ongoing litigation. We were called names. That was disrespectful. I don't want you to give the appearance that it's that you're, you know, an angel out there. When we went into private session last month, you were out in the hallway saying very derogatory things about me. A couple of people came to me after that meeting and told me about it. And you said, "Whoa, that didn't apply to you," but it was said about me, and I didn't appreciate it. So I would say that's not a friendly gesture. That's disrespectful to me, making accusations and telling people in the community negative things about me. You have a video of me, a soundbite that you have on your website, taking things out of context. Well, you have that up there. That happened a few years ago. Well, you complain, though, that we bring up the fact that you did that Oprah request. But the fact of the matter is that you did it. Did you need to go back that far? If it was the prior administration, I don't think you needed to do the past 25 years if you were looking into the prior administration. I know that when you first started coming to the meetings, that the mayor, the former mayor, and Mr. Ulrich spent hours with you going over pilots. Frequently, you come to meetings and you make suggestions with no data to support it. For example, the number of students that would become with a pilot. And at the same time, as I pointed out at the workshop, you're contradicting yourself. And the recordings are on your website there and in the minutes. And now you're shaking your head, and I saw you smirking a few times when others were talking. And I know that even at the time of my appointment as mayor by the council, initially, you were in the audience there laughing and giggling about something I said when I was referring to different citations from books that I've read. And some of the council people didn't appreciate it and responded to that, and I do appreciate that. So I think it works both ways. You have to respect others. Be kind to people and respect others. It's as simple as that. As far as anyone who wants to approach me or any member of this council, you know how to reach us. You can reach us privately. We do get a lot of anonymous emails and things. We can't respond to those because we don't know who they're from. But, yeah, if you have a different platform that you want to talk about while you're here, it's your right to do so. You have your time up here, and you can do it. If you have better ways of doing things, then you can announce that to the public. Okay? This is a legislative meeting. Really shouldn't be campaigning here, but I guess that's what you want to do. I'll close on a positive note. Martha Klemchuk, thank you for coming up. It just happenstance that you were here on another meeting, and we're not happy with what went on, so we appreciate the feedback you've given. Thank you.
Jim, do you have anything?
I do not, thank you.
Madam Clerk, do you have anything?
No comments, thank you.
Counselor, you have anything?
I do not.
I just want to thank the clerk on election night for your hard work again, and I know that November 1 will even be harder for you, as usual. July 4th, we have our July 4th celebration out front of ALJ High School and the municipal building, so please come on out for the festivities and the fireworks. And I'm going to take a part of what Brian usually does, and I hope I don't break up. We lost a citizen who, Judy Pecoraro, she was an angel. I was very close with her in softball, way too young, 59 years old, passed away recently. Her husband, Jerry, her daughters, Jen and Nicole. You are in our hearts. Anything you need, you know where to reach us. But she was always smiling and always a wonderful, wonderful lady. So we are going to miss Judy, and it was a blessing that she was part of our lives, which got us to meet Jerry, Jen, and Nicole. So that's all I have this evening. A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? See you next week, next month.